You guys ready? Happy Marley Marley release, everyone. Bang. There she is. Beautiful, colourful one. You guys know I like to get my colours on point. Yeah, it's... I think this one took a long time, you know. We made this ages ago, and there wasn't like there was many versions, but there was just a lot of adding and subtracting of instruments. If I go on the alternate... Yeah, so there's... First mix, there's a headphone mix I did on my Neuras that I didn't like. Oh yeah, there was this one for the live show. I mean, that is probably still going to happen. Yeah, the whole thing ends with a speech from Denzel Washington that I really liked. And then there's a video edit for the video and a radio edit, which I hate doing because it's like cutting pieces off of someone you love. Oh, he shouts to Knowledge as well, by the way. Knowledge in the chat. How you doing, bro? It's good to see you. Miss you, fam. Hope you're doing all right out there in LA. Yeah, I knew you were on Twitch, but yeah, we need to make some tunes together, man. That was a fun day we had back in the day. Respect. Anyway, back to this. So yeah, it's because it's a newer song, it doesn't look that dissimilar to my other projects. So, you know, you got all the drums there, and actually including all that stuff. Yeah, quite a lot of drums in this one. Some of it started in Ableton and I've imported it. Like some hi-hat loops and some shakers. You've got hand claps here, which I think is actually me and Howard doing it ourselves. I'm pretty sure. Yep. So we'll go through those, and clicks too. So a lot of layering on the drums. There's the lovely vocoder. You've got the synths here in the blue and green. Bass in the purple. Bit of tape hiss there. And then, yeah, her lovely vocal at the bottom here. So yeah, I kind of like to color things the way that I think stuff sounds. Does that make sense? Like, so, you know, for me, bass is very dark. It's like purple. It's like down there on the spectrum of the frequency. So it's all purpley. I think her vocal is super bright and colorful. So I've gone for pink and bright blue. And then drums, I like to go, yeah, sort of from a rainbow as well, like dark all the way through the greens up to the red. So I don't know. Anyone else do that, or am I just being insane? I know, yeah, synesthesia. Yeah, I don't actually see colors. I just kind of like, I think about colors. When I think about bass, I think purple. When I think claps, I think red because it's like snappy. I don't know. Anyway, let's go from the top. I'm going to mute all the plugins on the output track so you guys can't hear. This is literally the project that I sent to mastering. So everything you're going to hear is like in the finished product. So yeah, we'll mute those. So going from the top, yeah, all this crap up here you can ignore. I've spoken about this every episode. I have multiple side chains triggering. I don't like to trigger the side chain with the kick drum itself. The main reason for that is because I do a lot of automation on the length of the kick. So sometimes it will go boom and sometimes it will go boop, boop. And, you know, I just want control over the amount of pumping that the synth or the vocal or whatever I'm sidechaining is doing. And so, you know, if you're sending it boom, you can't have a quick like whoop, you know, you're out of control. So I like to just use a little beep, basically. Like this is all that my sidechain sends, like a metronome. So yeah, I do that because yeah, control basically. And the reason there's separate ones for UAD is because of latency. I've been through this before. UAD plugins run outside the laptop. They run off the interface. So by the time the data's gone all the way there and come all the way back, you've got this latency problem. And so look, if you look at these dots, the top one is truly on the beat, like it's on the beat 4/4. This one I've delayed by probably like 50 milliseconds. This one is literally just behind. So sometimes I end up having to have 5 of those because I've got a bus which I want to sidechain everything at the same time. And like, you know, if you want to sidechain a whole bus and you've got 5 UAD plugins before the sidechain, you're going to have to compensate for that. So I don't know, maybe it's something UAD will sort out in the future. But for the quality of the UAD stuff, I don't care. Like, it's so worth it, man. And like, you could always, you know, you could always bounce stuff down. You could have your UAD plugs going, bounce it, and then put a sidechain on and it would work. But, you know, I like to have control up until the very last moment of like sending stuff to master. So I don't really like to do that. Here's the drums. I'll turn all the plugins off of the drum bus here as well. So yeah, here's all the drums with no plugins. See how this sounds. So it's nice. It's kind of soft, you know, and then if I re-engage all the plugins, you get all that smack in the face back. Okay, there's also a massive volume boost. Let's see if I can compensate for that. Yeah, so here's without plugins. And with. So yeah, big difference there. You can see they're all doing their thing and they're all adding positivity to the tune, which is important. I don't just like to add plugins here and there for the sake of it. They all have to be making it better. Do I bounce stems out for master? Sometimes, but not usually. Usually, to be honest, I like to just bounce out one wav and I go to the mastering session myself. And if he starts to change too much, then I like to just go back into the project and fix it. The only thing I like to do in mastering is just run it through some nice gear. I don't like to do major changes in mastering. If you're doing that, there's probably something wrong with the mix. Anyway, back to the drums. So yeah, I'll get into the plugins in a sec. From the top, we got Big Kick, which is pretty much the same kick I use on this whole album, to be honest. I love this plugin. Yeah, it's just like a synth kick. So that's doing this. So it's just doing like the, I guess you call it like, yeah, like the sub of the kick. And then it's got the top going down a separate channel. And that's just going through some compression, through some overdrive, through, wow, an insane EQ. Don't remember doing that. And a bit of Logic reverb. So nothing crazy on the kick. But when you layer it up with the other ones, of which there are, I think there might be 4, maybe 5. This one got muted. Yeah. There you go. So you got one doing like the body and the underneath and you know, they're all just doing their thing. I hope this isn't too quiet for you guys. Let me turn it up a little bit. That's better. There we go. There we go. How long have I been using Logic? Probably 12, 13 years. Something like that. Started on Logic 7 when it still had wood. They used to like to put wood on the side of it, which I actually really liked. I wish they'd bring back wood. So that's the kick. And then we got Battery here doing... Is it doing anything? I think it might be doing the clap. It's doing a that thing and a little like reverse noisy thing. Yeah, just a little reverse type thing. Yeah, snares. We got some 808s. We've got a rim and something else with a load of plugins on it. Let me see what happens. Yeah. So a little 808. And then that rim. Yeah, pretty simple stuff. All kind of classic Disclosure-y house sounds going on. This tune is definitely, you know, a ode to our earlier stuff, just with you know, a very fresh take on the vocal. I mean, I think it's yeah. Well, we've been experimenting more outside of you know, genres that are in our own country, and this is, you know, this song isn't even in English, so that's the main point of difference. But the music underneath, I feel like, is a solid just like Disclosure classic kind of sound. Few hi-hats here. They're all just coming off of Battery as well. I think this might just be a preset from Battery. Yeah, New York House Hats. Oh, no, I got it off. There's Sennheiser. It's a Sennheiser pack. Plus another extra one. Yeah, that's a Battery one, and the rest are all... Yeah, so just one solid one going down the middle, and then the rest just adding some points of difference throughout. Then we got this little percussive thing. I don't even know what you call that. Yeah, just like a noise. And then get onto the fun stuff. 808 hats. I actually recorded these in, I believe, through my 808. So I was just jamming. I was jamming along with the tune. And yeah, I thought it just sounded great. So I recorded them. Won't let me turn it up because I've got automation on there. There you go. There's a nice amount of effects on here as well. Is it? Yeah, ring shifter. That's what's doing all the like flangey stuff. Just adding a bit of movement to them. There's some delay on there, and my favorite transient master. Just taking a little bit of attack off. They were a bit too bitey, I think, in the mix. A bit too harsh. And they're getting sidechained as well, probably. And then this 909 loop as well. This one's the main, like, this is what really drives the track, in my opinion. Everyone loves a good 909 hat. You know, you're just immediately in house music territory there. A little shaker loop. Don't know where that's from. Could probably be Splice. It might even be a Logic one. I'm really not that fussed about my shakers. I just like to throw them in as soon as possible just to get the vibes going. Yeah, I've got some sweepy stuff. Kind of similar to what I was doing in the beat that I just made, actually. I think it might even be the same little white noise thing. Yeah, might be. It worked for this one. We got some 909 snare build up here, which I would have done on my 808. It's probably... Oh, mate, this project's pretty CPU heavy, actually. Look at that. It's actually running quite a lot. I hope we're not getting any dropouts with Twitch. Yeah, here's the 909 build up. Yeah, so that's me actually messing with the 909 and like pulling the pitch up, and then I think I've just done a little reverse at the end there, like in the audio file itself. So yeah, just building the tension, and I really like the drops in this song. I don't know if you call them drops, I don't know what you call them, but there's always an odd number of bars. Like we decided to never like just drop it where you'd expect it. So like here's bar 9. So you know you'd usually expect it to come in there like 4, 8, 12, 16, bang, but we just held it for an extra 2 bars just to build that extra tension. And then the same thing happens here. It's like even longer, going from bar, what's that, bar 459, and then look, yeah, again you'd still expect it to drop on there, and it's just like even more, got to make them wait, which I like doing, you know, messing with people's brains. I love it when you see a crowd go like, yeah, oh, it didn't happen, and then bang, then it does happen. You know, it's good fun. You can yeah, you can mess with people like that. It's good. What else we got left? We have a bongo. I don't think that's doing much. Yeah, that's just a Logic loop. Look, African King loop. And then yeah, just another shaker that I've chopped and just brought out that little Kambasa out from all the rest of it. That is pretty much all the percussion up until we get to the claps and stuff we recorded in. So if we can hear all that together. Oh, I can't be bothered so much to solo. Yeah, moving on. There's a little vocal sample, or 2 vocal samples here. This is what I was finding the file of earlier. Both in Serato sample. It's just Fatumata's a cappella thrown in, and just doing some classic garage kind of oop ap eep ap stuff. Doesn't sound like much, but in the mix. Adds a lot of vibes. Yeah, and it's like one of the first things I think you hear. Oh no, sorry, it rides in the outro. Yeah, it's like the last thing you kind of hear of the song is the little vibes. Cool. Moving on to the claps and clicks. This is all me and Howard recorded through this mic, probably in this room, I would have thought. Yeah, nothing crazy. Nothing crazy there, just a bit of compression. Just a Logic compressor. EQ. Taking out the rumble, taking out some highs here. Didn't want all the highs in for this one. Bit of Valhalla, that's doing automation for the build-ups. Yeah, nice dry cymbal claps. It's definitely us because you can hear the spill through the headphones in between, which I like. You know, all that good stuff. Oh, man, this project's proper glitchy. Haven't opened it for a little minute. Look at that, it's all going like... How many claps layered there is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9, I don't know why. But you can see they're all panned as well. You've got slightly left, slightly right, very left, very right, full left, full right, center left, center right, center. So that's pretty much every single angle covered in the stereo field, which I like to do if we have the time. And the same with the clicks. Yeah, you got hard pan, medium pan, slightly more pan, and a center one as well. So yeah, that's all the clicks and claps. I think that is all the drums together. So we can yeah, we can listen to the bus now and the plugins and what's going on there. So first of all, we're going into the API. Very subtle compression on that. Literally just taking off a couple of dB, if that. I think I just didn't think it needed it. I thought it was punchy enough. So yeah, usually I would back off the wet dry mix, but it's doing its thing just fine. Then into the Studer. None of this is changing really, guys. Same thing I always do. I've kept it quite clean for this song. I didn't feel like this song needed much like squelch, you know. It just... Fatimata's voice is so soft and sensitive and floaty that it doesn't need a big distorted, you know, kit underneath. So I kept it out of the red. This is what it would have sounded like in the red. You know, it definitely feels like it has more energy immediately, but I think in the mix, I ended up just backing it way down. I thought it was really just nice to have it clean and not too distorted this time. But still, like, the saturation is going to be adding a lot, you know, gluing it together. We're just looking for glue at this point. We got the inflator. Here it is without. As always, that thing just bringing everything to life. It's so good. Bit of saturation. So same kind of thing as the Studer was doing, the tape, but a little bit more sparkly. I've literally only got it on like 12%, is that? Or yeah, 13%. But I've rolled off some EQ in here as well. Sometimes I like to EQ the top end in this plugin. I just feel like it does it in a very like different, transparent way. So I've just taken down the presence. Too much highs in those hi-hats going through. Very minor EQ. Yeah, oh yeah, look at that. Just sort of taking out some harshness from the hi-hats. Yeah, no one needs those frequencies. It's all just a bit painful. I don't know why I would have boosted that. Probably just to make the clap a bit louder. But yeah, not much going on there. And then limiting in the drum bar. That is literally just taking like half a dB off of that clap every time it comes around, you know. It just does that one clap and it just slightly takes it off. But other than that, it's not, the limiter's not really doing anything. I wanted to leave the drum super open and free. Didn't want to limit too hard until we got to the master out. So there you go. There's the drums of Marley Marley. I think now it probably makes sense to go to the bass. Here's the bass bus here. We've got 3 basses in this tune, 2 bass guitars, and a sine wave bass for the sub. So here's what we're missing a plug-in here. So that's because they updated it. Sorry guys, let me just put that in. Ample. It's the Ample Sound J bass. Yeah, they did an update in it. That's not going to sound quite the same as the record, I'm afraid, but it's probably pretty close. You see. Yeah, it'll do for now. That's pretty much how we had it. So you got 1 bass guitar doing that, and then another one on top. Oh, okay, that was another bass guitar, but in the end, I think it turned out to just be... I think it's just a little, like... Yeah, it's nothing. It's just literally like an attacky little bleep. Yeah, it's almost like a kick. It's like a kick being pitched around, and I would have added that in because I probably didn't think that the bass guitar had enough attack. Sometimes the bass can be a bit like boom, 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 and sometimes you want it to be a bit like boom, boom, boom. So, you know, if I solo it without it and then put it in, I think you'll hear what I'm talking about. It just adds like almost extra finger noise. Do you know what I mean? Just adds as if you compressed it harder, but without compressing it. So yeah, just adding a little bit of subtle attack. And then we got the big boy underneath, the Repro one, huge sine bass. That is literally just doing a big sine wave, I think. So then all together. So you can see in the sine, this is the sine EQ. I'm taking out some of like 100 hertz because there's already a lot of bass guitar information going on there. I've rolled off everything below 20 because only elephants can hear that. So that's doing that. And then the bass guitar EQ has probably got no sub. No, it does have sub. It just doesn't sound very subby, you know, it's not that kind of sound. And then the pluck sound doesn't really count. But yeah, a lot of plugins on the bass guitar. Here you go, here it is without any. First of all, a bit of compression. I like the DBX 160 for bass guitar. It's really attacky and it gives me that finger noise that I'm looking for on that initial attack. A little bit of overdrive. It's not really doing much, to be honest. That's just force of habit, putting Logic Overdrive. Rolling off the top, getting rid of some of that fingery hiss stuff that we don't need. Just getting rid of those like that we didn't need. And this is all just little resonance bumps I didn't like, I guess. There's a frequency there I didn't like. Yeah, it's minor. That's probably overdoing it, to be honest. Then we're going into a decapitator. Super minor amount of distortion there. That's probably not even worth having on, but I did. And then we're going into a couple of decimorts. I love these bit crushers. Decimort by what's it called again? D16 group, yeah. So those are doing that little on the top. I'll turn it up for you guys. So one's doing kind of white noise, and the other one's doing like a frequency. I like that on bass. It's nice. It kind of gives it a little bit of sparkle on the top, and you can only probably hear it in the song on the there's a bit towards the end of the song where everything drops down except for the clap, kick, and the bass. So it probably, I just felt like it needed a bit of life at that point, so I added 2 of those. Then we're going into the isotope vocal doubler, and it's on super wide, only 1% chorus, and just having it in a little bit. So that's just adding some width and almost some chorus to the bass. If you're in headphones, you'll probably notice that. If I press this button, you'll hear what it's doing only. So that's, yeah, very wide and, you know, just making it a bit less down the middle, a bit more interesting. And then into the Echo Boy. Delay for bass might, yeah, maybe that's a bit weird, but so I like it sometimes. As long as there's no like low frequencies in there, then it can get a bit muddy. But yeah, it's nice for the high stuff. I'm just going to top up my wine. $3,600 people watching. Wow. That's a record for me. Hi, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. I'm getting drunk and talking you through the tune. All right, so that's the bass. I think we covered that. Here it is with the drums. For some reason, like not everything is soloing when I do this, but let's see if it... Yeah, it is. So really growly bass, still got the sub under there, garagey drums with the hi-hats. I mean, I'm in a good spot. When I heard that for the first time go past, I was like, yep, that's the one. So that's that. Now, what do you guys want to do next? Vocals or pads and stuff? Pads and stuff or vocals? Let's take a vote. Vocals, pads, vocals, pads, vocals, pads. Pads win. I would have done pads also, just so you know. Pads and stuff, yeah. All right, pads and stuff it is. Here are the pads. The main synth in this one is the Korg Poly 6, which me and Howard were messing around with earlier. This is on a lot of energy, actually. I don't think we used it at all on Caracal and Settle, probably because I just didn't have it or couldn't afford it probably for the first album, but I really like it now. I think I went through it on one of the other streams. Lovely resonance knob on this one. I really like the filter. I think they've done a great job at emulating the real thing. I've don't own the real thing, but I've rented the real thing a bunch of times in LA, and it's really, really nice. So yeah, here is that. Here's what it sounds like, and I'll show you the MIDI. So there you go. There's a few of the plugins too. First thing, well, I'll take them all off first so you can hear what it's doing without. And then with. So yeah, lots of improvements there. You got Decapitator first, going in quite hot actually. I wanted to dirty it up. I do that quite often with Digi, like plug-in polysynths, because you know they can sound a bit too clean sometimes. So you want to just give it some dirt on the way in, because you know we didn't record that through a desk or anything. You know, it's just a plug-in. Oh, sorry, we should do the MIDI as well. Here's Howard's lovely chords. If any of you music nerds want to see them. What we got here? D, D, F. That's a D minor 7. Sounds like to me. A. A something. Music nerds, you tell me. D minor 9. Yeah. That's like an E sus something. E major 7, right, with a 9 as well. E flat major 7, sorry. Minor 7. E flat minor 7. Yeah, anyway, lovely chords, and you can see we're triggering the filter to react differently to the velocity of the MIDI, so that's all the same, and then it's going like ba-bam-boom, ba-bam-boom, ba-bam-boom. So yeah, instead of the velocity affecting the volume, it's affecting the filter. You get the idea. So yeah, there's the MIDI. I don't think it changes really the whole way through, except for this sustained held bit. Yep. And so yeah, when we're going into this, actually, I'm using the Waves one for this one. Yeah, sometimes I like chucking the Waves one instead. I think it worked well with this synth, the Bluey. Find the Bluey one to be a bit warmer. So again, you know, because I'm using a plug-in synth as opposed to my Juno or something, just trying to give it everything I can to almost make it a bit worse. You know, a bit crackly, a bit real. Of course, the purists will be like, it's nowhere near as good, but who cares? Bit of EQ, taking out the lows, boosting some clarity. So you only really hear that when it's already, you know. Want to hear the top bit. Ugh, where's a good bit? Yeah, there's some more stuff going on. We've got quite a lot of automation on this synth. So there you go. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 tracks of automation just on this one synth. Oh, actually, no, volume's doubled up. Maybe 8 or 9. So yeah, we're controlling the release of the synth. We're doing some EQ build-ups here. Some release, making it longer. You know, just bring the synth to life a bit, giving it movement, giving it some character, and then we got some effects build-ups here. These two are the Valhalla and the H-delay building up as well. And yeah, very, I guess you would say, classic Disclosure sound, although we didn't really have the Poly 6 stuff back in the beginning when we made the first Disclosure stuff. It definitely, you know, to me sounds like a Juno, and when you put it through these things, sounds very familiar to me and sounds like, yeah, a good place for Howard's chords. And we got another little synth underneath it, backing it up at points. I think this is just a Logic synth called Basic Pad. Yeah, I mean, there you go. Didn't think too long and hard about that one. Basic Pad from the EXS24. See that? Juno 106, Poly 6, Transient Master, and Valhalla equals disclosure. Yeah, and H delay I would put in there as well. But you're not far off. Yeah, and ring shifter for sure. Yeah, I've got a nice phaser on this one. I really like the Eventide phaser. It's doing some nice stuff. So again, you know, just moving it around, giving it life, giving it some character, not just boring old sawtooth wave like it used to be. So that's those two together. Banging. That is the main synths. I'm going to skip to this end section here now because there's some extra crazy synths that happen. It's literally, we actually called it the crazy section. Why aren't those coming up? I don't know. Anyway, yeah, crazy section. I think you guys know what I'm talking about. It's all of this stuff. Jeez. Yeah, mad. I mean, that doesn't even happen until 3 minutes 55. So, yeah, I don't think that one made the radio edit, put it that way. But we thought, for the people who've stuck it out until 4 minutes into the track, you deserve a little treat. So this is what you get. So, yeah, we got 4 synths here. Ignore the vocoder for now. We'll get to that in a minute. But we've got Diva by Yuhi, probably one of the greatest plugins ever made. Or at least greatest synth plugins ever made, and also the most CPU heavy. That is probably why this is happening, to be honest. Look, when I open Diva, it's not even playing, and it's just eating my computer. Yeah, I hope you guys aren't having too many dropped frames of that. I think for a long time I probably froze the track, so yeah, I'm gonna get my mouse off of that because it's not good. Let's just hear it one time, though. So Diva is doing this bit. Same chords. Going through two H delays, sorry, and a really short. Oh, not really short. Oh, it's just delay. It just makes it sound like it's in the toilet, you know, in the bathroom. So we got that coupled with the Juno, and that is doing, I think, the sweepy bit. Oh no, it's just doubling it up. My bad. It's just doing the same thing. Yeah, so those two are just in unison, 2 slightly different textures, and then we've got an actual Juno. I guess I sent the chords out to the Juno and then reversed it or something. Yeah, and that's going through some distortion, just Logic distortion that time, and some tremolo. And I got the little speed up effect on Logic there. It's quite cool. You can do a fade in or a speed up. And then we got the Prophet doing the... Oh, wow. Yes. It's not even the Prophet. It's my favorite. It's the tiny little ESP. This is what I was telling you guys about the other night. This was like all we had back in the day of the start of Disclosure. This tiny little synth plugin. Comes with Logic. It's based off a Juno. You know, you can see the ADSR is sliders, and it's got triangle, saw, square. You know, it's based off it. But yeah, I'm happy I used it in Marley Marley. I forgot about that. I thought it was a Prophet. Yeah, so it's doing an interesting kind of up and down attack decay thing here. You can see I've put it on the negative setting. If you put it here, it does something else. I was probably messing around with a Prophet for a while, trying to make it move in that way, and I probably couldn't do it. So I just went back to my roots, back to my trusted ESP. So that's doing the kind of before the Juno, and you put them all together, and you get this. Yeah, and you can see we got some automation going on throughout these. This one is I'm just giving it some difference. I don't like stuff looping the whole way through, so this is changing the depth of the panning. This is changing the rate of the panning. Yeah, I mean, getting super nerdy now. If you're in headphones, you should be able to hear the difference between that and that and that. They're all just slightly different, just to, go the extra mile and give it the detail it deserves. Same with this one, panning around. Yeah. This one, what's that doing? Oh yeah, it does one random little crazy one. So yeah, I just spent like an afternoon on all of those, just messing with them and making them sound interesting and not too digi, keeping it fresh. Yeah, wicked. Okay, and then now, oh, you don't need to know about that. It's just a string note. Yeah, so that only really happens in the breakdown here, where we've got some nice belly, roadsy, twinkly stuff happening. Merry Christmas, everyone. Very Christmassy, isn't it? We got the Rhodes on the, what is this? JD800 Crystal Dream Phase setting, and I've probably messed with the phaser quite a lot. Yeah, like just pretty much using that all for the sparkle up here, the little ding ding ding. Omnisphere, what's Omnisphere doing? Oh, there's my serial. Free Omnisphere for the first person who pastes that. Oh, it's only the challenge code. You're fine. Whew, you're fine. Okay, I guess that's not working then. Yeah, I thought it was missing something. Okay, Omnisphere is not working today. And then we got a Glockenspiel. Yeah. That's just the Logic stock Glockenspiel, I think. Yeah, factory, tuned percussion, Glockenspiel. Simple as that. You guys better not actually be able to unlock Keyscape off that, right? I don't think you will. Damn it. When people ask me how I got on the Sphere, I'm going to tell them Disclosure gave it to me. Shit. I reckon if you all enter it, I'll just probably get like a ton of emails. It's probably linked to my email somehow, and then I'll be like, oh shit. Please be nice. Don't make me rebuy on the Sphere. I got a new laptop, alright? I'm still working on all these fucking serial numbers getting changed over. Don't worry, we already cracked our own versions. Yeah, nice. Okay, that's all you need to know about that. So then that is all of the pads, except for the vocoder, which we'll get to because of the vocals. yeah, there you go. Pads, bass, drums. We're getting through it, guys. We've only got vocals and the vocoder to go. And there's a few little things down here which I'll show you as well. It's my mono tribe. If anyone knows what a mono tribe is, say I. I've actually got it here. Here you go. Beautiful bit of gear, this. So I've actually modded it. It's got the MIDI cables hanging out there. We used to use it in the live show, and so we used to be able to send it MIDI to like almost upload presets to it. Like we'd have it as like a preset sent to it via MIDI. So that's what these like shitty cables are doing, hanging out. But yeah, and I put some custom glow-in-the-dark knobs on it as well because I couldn't see it on stage. But I've had this thing for years, and this is like my build-up machine. I use this all the time for like. Well, you'll see it's in this tune for like, and yeah, it's cool. It's fully analog ribbon station. It's got a little drum sequencer on it too, but I don't really use that. I use it just for build-ups pretty much. I don't think they make them anymore. Yeah, you're right. Music by Patrick. They don't make them. I've like we used to have about 3, and one broke, and we went to replace it and couldn't replace it. So. Yeah, you'd have to try and pick one up second hand. But yeah, they're really fire. And they do like a bunch of mini ones too. You know, the Monotrons. I've got them all over here. One sec. So yeah, if you can't find the Mono Tribe, you've got these little... I mean, they're quite cheap as well. Is that going to focus? Yeah. No. There you go. Monotron Duo. Original one. My dad got me that for Christmas one year, and I was like, oh, that's cool. And then I ended up getting all of them because I loved it so much. But the Mono Tribe is like the daddy. Much more versatile. You can do a lot with it. But yeah, they don't make it anymore. So yeah, speaking of Mono Tribe, let's hear that. It's just down the bottom here. Oh, I nearly didn't remember to do that. This is what it does best. Yeah, it does all that sort of thing. So, oh, I'm messing up my project now. Yeah, good for build-ups. It's got a nice noise knob on it as well. Me and Howard used to have one at each. When we had the live show, you know, when we had the 2 tables on stage, he'd have one, I'd have one, going through a load of delay, load of reverb. It's great for build-ups. And, you know, it should be different every time. Wouldn't sound like you were just hitting a build-up sample. You know, you get unique stuff out of it each time. So. But yeah, the Monotrons, Mono Tribes are equally sick, and they're really cheap as well for an analog bit of gear. All right, vocal bus. This is a huge chain of plugins here. Bloody hell. The work. The hours of work. So yeah, that's the bus. We've got a ton of stuff going on there. I'll just play it for you first up. So there's the beautiful vocals by Fatoumata Diawara. Isn't she great? Please tell me you have your projects backed up. Of course, like 2 computers, 2 hard drives, 100%. You can buy them on eBay for 150 quid. Yeah, I think that's about right. Probably. Anyway, yeah, beautiful vocals by Fatoumata. We've got one down the middle here, the lead. And then one each side pan. And And then we've got some... there's... What is that? Oh, I've muted it this time round, but it does happen at points in the song. Yeah, here, there's a little harmony that she does. Mali, Mali. I think it's like that. Mali, Mali. Mali, Mali. So this is just all the stems she sent over. And I think I've warped them all. I probably warped them all in Ableton. And I gave them a bit of tuning as well. You see tuned. I would have done that in Melodyne. I actually did that because there was some notes that it didn't quite work with our new chords. Like most of it worked, but I think there was a key change that Howard did. Like I think we dropped it down to like the relative minor or something like that. So there were a couple notes that didn't quite work in the key. So it's not to tune her or anything. Like her tuning was great. It was to actually rewrite the melody of the vocal. So that's why it says tuned there. That's probably underneath if I reveal the hidden tracks. Yeah, you've got like the originals here that aren't tuned, and then you can see Melodyne. Melodyne is there. I don't know what's going on with that. I haven't opened that in a long time. But yeah, so bit of Melodyne to like fix the melody and to, you know, make it work with our new chords, because the original song is nothing like this harmonically. And then you got this wicked Africa section where she's she's talking about how awesome Africa is. What a sick vocal. Absolutely sick vocal. So yeah, we can talk about the plugins. So let's go back to the lead vocal. I'll mute all the bus, all the effects, and these. And here's where we're at. Pretty different. Mali 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 dunga dua ke tungana dewe Mali 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 nyana fimba una Mali Mali Mali. So first thing I hear is super uncompressed and lots of low mids. So the first thing I did was whack it through a tube tech. Mali 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 dunga dua ke tungana dewe Mali 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 nyana fimba. Just controlling those peaks, and then yep. Took out a load of low mids, a bit of a shelf there, and a couple little resonance filters up the top. Probably just taking out some harshness that I didn't like. It actually sounds like a lot on its own, but because there's three of her doing it at once, those low mids really start to build up when you put them all in together. So I'm taking out quite a lot of low mids here, but it's when you have to watch your low mids build. When you're doing BVs, that's the main thing you take out of BVs is low mids, because they just start to, every BV adds another kind of underneath, and you gotta watch that, in my opinion. And then we're going into Saturn. I don't know how she recorded this. I don't know what mic, what gear, or anything. So I thought to be safe, I'd run it through some tube just to make sure it had been through some tube-like stuff and give it some shine. And I think I did that on all of them. Oh, a bit of de-esser. Bit of de-essing as well, especially on the BVs there. It's literally just doing the f of Fimbuna, so not doing much, to be honest. That's probably why there's not one on the lead. I didn't really need it. And this is, oh yeah, that's the vocoder. We'll get to that. We're actually sending it to an altar boy for an octave down shift. Mali 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 dunga dua ke tungana dewe Mali 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 nyana fimba una Mali Mali. Yeah, not much, just a touch, but it's on all of them. So again, it adds up once you put three in. You can hear the low coming. It might be automated, that actually. Yeah, it is. So it comes and it doesn't come and go. No, it is just kind of happening. Yeah, it adds up when you put them all in together. You can hear the low. Mali 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 dunga dua ke tungana dewe Mali 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 nyana fimba una Mali Mali Mali. Ah, I guess you can't. Okay, weird. I thought you could hear it. Okay, well, it's just very subtle then. I thought I had a low octave in there, but I am wrong. No worries. There's a high octave though, but that does come and go. That one, I'm pretty sure. That one's got some automation on the bus. Yeah, you can see it here. So halfway through the chorus, the octave above comes in. So it sounds kind of crappy on its own, but in the mix, I was happy with it. I thought it worked, so I just left it like that. Yeah, so not the best sounding thing on its own, but in the mix, it just lifts it up, and it's nice. Halfway through the chorus, you just get that little lift up. Cool. So that is those vocals. Now we can move on to the bus. So all three of these three vocals here, are all going through all of these plugins. So there's a lot of processing there. Let's take you to the mix page. So yeah, that's the three vocals there we just heard, and those are all being sent through this. You can ignore this channel. That's not, we're not looking at that now. We're just looking at these ones that are soloed. So first of all, we're going into the Wave CLA. So just grouping them all together, like gluing them together, making sure they react together, not massive amounts of compression, just taking off the peaks. And then we're going into a decapitator for the same reason. I've actually got that on punish, so that's actually given it a lot of distortion. It's just that I've backed it off on the mix here. I really like that about decapitator. You know, you can push it really hard and then just back it down and get the sound you want while still working it and, you know, getting all those nice harmonics to pop out. So that's what the decapitator. Thanks. That's what that's doing. Oh yeah, so this is the filter. So I actually wouldn't usually do this. So I've got some EQ going on here and a filter. Nowadays, I would probably just have two Pro Qs, one for a filter and one for the EQ, just to make it easier. Especially if you're doing automation, I kind of like having it separated. But yeah, look, you can see there's a lot of automation on this bus. So all her vocals are going through all of these things here. So this is the main one, the main filter thing. So that's just opening up slowly, as you'd expect. Then we're going into my favorite. You guys remember this one, the Gem Dopamine. Absolutely amazing plugin. I'll give you the before and after. Oh, I've actually got the wet turned all the way down. Yeah, I think I just had it on there to test it out, and I ended up not using it, which is a shame. But it makes sense. There's already so much air in her vocal, like, you know, you can hear it. Yeah, it just didn't need it. So I had it on there just in case, but didn't end up using it. De-essing the whole group vocal. So I've got this unlinked so that you've got a stereo de-esser going on this. Yeah, the mag EQ is great for air. I use that all the time. I've actually got a real one right there in my 500 series stuff. Good shout if you want to add air to a mix. I also recommend the Gem Dopamine. It's a very, very clever plugin. It does de-essing and boosting at the same time. It's very cool. Have I done a stream of Latch yet? No, I haven't. That will happen one day, but I'm concentrating on the new stuff at the moment because it's, well, this tune came out yesterday, so yeah. A bit of Saturn, and then into Soothe. Soothe is doing quite a lot here, actually. I think this is just Soothe 1. Yeah, classic Soothe. So now you're hearing all the stuff it's taking away because I've inverted it. So for those who don't know, Soothe, everything you just heard there, that is what it's removing from the vocal. So it's all those harshness, the stuff that gives you tinnitus, just the stuff you don't need in a vocal. It's very good on a vocal, very good on guitar, and I even put it on the master out sometimes. I know mastering engineers who use this thing, and you just back it off on the wet here. You don't have to have the full 100% taking all the frequencies out. I like to kind of make it do its thing and then just dip it until I can just about hear it. So for this one, I'm doing 77%. So yeah, really good. I love what that plugin does. Very CPU heavy, but I've got a mega computer, so it's fine nowadays. Echo Boy. Yeah. You know the drill. Echo Boy, bit of Valhalla, and then a little bit more EQ. So I'm EQing post reverb and post delay, post soothe. So yeah, I must have just still sort of thought we got some resonancy things happening, and I probably would have done this like whilst listening to it with the music, not on its own. I would have been taking stuff out that I thought was fighting in the mix. So that's what that's doing. Yeah, shit like that. But you know, it's all dynamic. It's not taking it out. We're just doing a high shelf and taking out some low mids. So yeah, and nothing drastic, nothing too crazy. And then sending to Logic Chorus to give it some width. And then sidechaining the whole thing with my little sidechains at the top, like I showed you guys earlier. There you go. I think that is all. I think that's all the instruments. Yeah, the Africa vocal doesn't really have anything different on it. Tube Tech, EQ, bit of vocal doubler. Yeah, still going through the same bus though. All those vocals. There's only 4 vocals. The Africa one, those 3 there, and then there's a few. Oh yeah, a few ad libs here. These are interesting. We can look at these. Yeah. Soya. I called it Soya because I didn't really know what she was saying, but you'll understand when you hear it. I think I pretty much copy and pasted the bus from the previous vocals and just put it here. Oh, this AC, man. There we go. Freezing in here. Yeah, so that is the exact same chain of plugins, except I've probably, yeah, look, I'm just taking out all of the lows, and that's how I'm getting that kind of more cut-off effect. And then we got a few ad-libs as well. Another cool one here that I left out, but it's still dope. Yeah, I think me and Howard were debating which one to use for a little while, and we went with that one, which I love. We've got a lot of automation on that. Lots of... It's all H-Delay and Valhalla, all just going crazy. So there's some other cool stuff in here, which we muted. Again, that's all tuned. It's nothing like the original song or the original part. She said it didn't used to go so we tried it and we just didn't feel like it needed it, so we muted it and we just left the first two ones instead. How did I tune it? Melodyne. I use Melodyne for everything. If you want to fix stuff, if you want to completely change the melody of a vocal, for me, Melodyne is the only way. Auto-tune is its own thing. Auto-tune is like a stylistic choice if you want to sound like that, or you want to track through it, you want to record through it, that's fine. But post-recording, fixing stuff, Melodyne's the best in the world, especially the new one. The update's crazy. I need to get it on my new Mac, actually. I was playing with it on my old one. It's absolutely worth the money. And the good thing about Melodyne is they do tiers of not subscription, what would you say? You can buy like Melodyne Studio, and then there's like smaller versions for just, fixing up vocals a bit. So you don't get all the toys, but you get some good stuff. Even the basic one is like more than enough to fix your vocals, get stuff in tune, make a new melody from a vocal. Yeah, you don't need the full package. I don't even think I have the full package. Yeah. I think I might get it soon though, because they've got it now so you can do multiple stems in one window of the plugin. For harmonies and stuff like that, it'd be amazing. Like if I'd had that plugin for when I made Angel's Fear to Tread, that would have been really cool. But yeah, hey ho. Yeah, that's definitely every stem, guys. And then you've got my pretty much traditional, normal Disclosure master out. I'll pull the plugins up now, see if I can fit them all in the window. And I'll bypass them on and off, and you can hear what they are doing. I'll leave Saturn and that one. I'll pull up the EQ. Wow, it's massive. Why does it always come out so massive? Can I fit it on? Pro L. Jeez, massive again. That'll do. I mean, actually, the EQ is doing nothing. So again, I think I went through this with you the other day. I like to put a bit of EQ on my master out just to make it sound the way I want it to sound. And then once I get to mastering, I'll basically show this to the mastering engineer, and I'll be like, look, here's what I thought should be happening. Can you do it with your lovely piece of equipment, your beautiful outboard EQ? So that's why I bypassed it, because I would have been like, yo, let's do it. Here's what we need. Bypass, bounce it out, and then he would have done that for me. And the limiting as well. So, we don't need to see the limiter. You guys, you know the drill. So that's without the plugins. And here's with. So very subtle. 2 dB reduction on the SSL. Nowhere near the red on the tape. 1 or 2 dB on the Drama. And then a bit of soothe. Oh, and the inflator, of course. Just saw your comments, vocoder. My bad. Forgot about that bad boy. Yes, the vocoder. It's like the best bit as well. My bad, guys. So the vocoder, it's Howard's chords again. So the same chords as going through the Poly 6, but just, legato. And it's the Logic. Just the Logic vocoder. Nothing fancy here. I think we initially tried the Isotope vocal synth. But we just preferred this one. Have I got it there? I remember us trying it. No, didn't even keep it. So yeah, what's happening here is on the vocoder, you select the side chain, and whatever input you select here is, that's what audio is coming into the vocoder, and then you play it like a synth. So you play the chords, and then the audio that you send it is what is going to be affected by the notes. So in this case, Fatoumata's lead vocal here is being sent to bus 9, which I've named Voco Send, and I've got that muted. That's all the way down, So her vocal is being sent to this bus, but you're not hearing it. It's not being doubled up. It's just muted. But because the data is being sent there on the vocoder, you tell it where you want to receive, play the chords, and we should hear it. I think I'll probably have to solo the vocal as well. Mute the bus and then that. Or turn the bus down here. That should work. So there's a ton of ways you can set this vocoder. These knobs here kind of make it more of a female or a male voice. I landed on this setting, but I'll show you guys what it could have been. So there are tons of ways you can do it. It's got a chorus as well built into it. Bit of stereo width going on here as well, but not much because I'm sending it to the Logic chorus as well, which is giving it like maximum width. So I'll take off all the plugins so you can hear it dry. Third Ball says, how lit are you? 1 to 10. Definitely a 11.5. So that's it with nothing going on. So I'm compressing it really hard. That's because I'm treating it like a synth. I don't want any peaks and troughs in the volume. I just want it to be a constant sound because the vocal's taking care of the feel. So that's why it's been pumped really hard. Bit of overdrive, and then here is the EQ on the vocoder. So very subtle, just taking out the stuff I don't want. H delay, Valhalla, sidechain, the standard. You know what's going on there, guys. Sending to chorus, and I'm also sending to the Logic rotocab, like an organ rotocab. Just adding a nice different texture to it there. So yeah, I love that. Fatoumata's voice with the vocoder just sounds absolutely banging, I think. When do you use dynamic EQ over normal dynamic bands? So, I mean, if you just are doing normal EQ, it's permanent. You're reducing something locked, whereas dynamic EQ responds to the volume of the sound. So say I want to take the low mids out of my voice right now, right? If I go, it's not going to react. But if I go, it's going to pull a load back. So it's affecting the texture of the sound a lot more than the volume. Wait, is that right? I don't know. It's like a mix between compression and EQ. You know, it's compression, but for certain bands of the vocal. That's right. Like a de-esser. A de-esser just compresses the and, you know, you could do that with a dynamic EQ, no problem. But a dynamic EQ just gives you a lot more options. You know, you can do a static EQ or a dynamic EQ in the same window as the Pro Q3. That's why it's such a banging plugin. Because, like, look, this one, I've got a static. I'm taking out 10 dB of the vocoder. Like, it's pretty massive. But I'm also, at the same time, on the same band, reducing it by 5 dB with the dynamic EQ. So it's like a double whammy. That's why it's one of the best plugins ever made, because it's everything in the same window. It's very cool. Is that it, guys? I guess I could show you the structure. I mean, at the end here, I've got a load of stuff muted because this is the album version. So this one ends like this. But then, you know, I've got a club version ready for DJs. You know, everybody needs that for DJ sets. No one likes mixing out with chords going on. I personally don't. I like drums. I think that's it, guys. I think we got there. I think that's everything. Any questions? Best track of summer 2020. Thank you. Thank you very much. Can you please show the second drop where you leave instruments a couple of bars before? Oh, yeah. Hell yeah. I love that part. Let's do it. That was amazing. Thank you. Thank you. Awesome. Yeah, here's that little sneaky bar. And, oh no, it's here. Yeah, that's the sneaky bar. So I got a ton of stuff muted in the drums here. See? So if I was to put that all back in, it wouldn't, you know, it would sound a little different. And then without. Mali, Mali, Mali don't want to much better. Classic Disclosure vibes, that is. Take out the first beat, make them wait. Tease them. Tease the crowd. I love that. Like I said to you earlier, when everyone goes, 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Oh. I like that shit. I like messing with them. I think it's fun. All right, there we have it, guys. Another breakdown done. Marley. Thank you guys for checking it. Oh yeah, any word from Howard about the strings? Here, let me see what he said. Oh, he didn't send. He said, that was fun, man. He said, that was really fun, man. The guys on Twitch are almost as nerdy as me. Send me the tune. I did send you the tune. It didn't send. All right. My bad. I'll let you guys know what he said on the Discord. Go to the Discord. Yeah. I'll make sure you guys know his response. If not, next time. My bad. I also need some new sound effects. And I'm working on emotes as well. Emotes for the Discord. All of that stuff is going to happen. Yeah. Fallout George just posted it. Thank you. Everyone get on there. There's a few rooms now. And mods. Sorry about last time. I think some crazy shit was being posted. But we're good now. We got my man Luke C on the case. He's taking care of everything. Yeah. White noise next, please. Maybe, yeah. Who is Disclosure? I mean, I'm half of it. Disclosure Splice Pack, yeah. Could do one of those one day. Did you use the CLA 2A comp on vocals ever or on drums? Yeah, probably. On vocals. I wouldn't have used it on drums. Doesn't have enough attack for me. But yeah. Did you tune her final vocal? I don't think so. Not really. It was like I said. It was to actually change the melody. It was like the chords Howard played didn't work with all the vocal. So it was like rearranging it. All right, that's me done, guys. That was a lot of fun. I'll see you not over the weekend. I'm doing stuff, but Tuesday next week. And yeah, let's chat on the Discord. We'll pick a tune, and we'll make some more tunes. Big up yourselves. Have a lovely weekend. Goodbye. That's a very serious goodbye. Goodbye.